Good morning, folks. Welcome to this morning's Public Affairs Forum. And this morning, we're going to jump right into it. We are blessed with having Robin Callahan here this morning. Robin is the current president of our local Rotary Club and and before we get started, let me tell you a little bit about Robin, some of the things she's been doing these last 25 years or so. But Robin's she spent 25 years in nonprofit leadership. She's been serving a variety of staff roles and volunteer roles, from here to Issaquah. And recently she's been the vice president of the philanthropic services, for the Greater Tacoma Foundation. She's also served in roles as the executive director of the National Schools Foundation Association, now known as the National Association of Education Foundations. She's also been an executive director for the Issaquah Schools Foundation for 16 years before she moved here to Gig Harbor. And in 2014, she was named Issaquah Citizen of the Year when she was in those roles. Again, she's our Rotary president here in Gig Harbor, and she's a Chamber of Commerce member. And without further ado, I'd like to introduce you to this lady. Tell us about Rotary.
Thank you. Thanks, Joe. Well, great to be here. Does the mic pick me up just fine? Okay, super. Well, it's a joy to be with you all today, especially to see so many Rotarians in the audience. And so I am wearing my orange today in honor of my beloved Oregon State Beavers, members of the Pac-2. And 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 so my husband and I live on Fox Island, and we have been very fortunate to find Gig Harbor as a community to come to in like this next chapter of our lives. So we've lived here about 4 or 5 years, and along the way, I had been looking at Rotary for years and thinking maybe one day I'll join Rotary, but it was just never the right time. And I came to Gig Harbor and I was looking for a new community of people who were like-minded. I was looking for people who cared about the community, wanted to be involved in the community, and were a lot of fun to hang out with. And I started visiting Rotary clubs. I ended up at the Gig Harbor Morning Club and I found my people. And so I am really honored to have a turn in the seat as president and get a chance to talk to you a little bit about our mission and our work and what we do. So I am going to, if I can get our slides to advance, just a minute. Not advancing yet. Nope, nope, tried that too.
Maybe we turn the clicker on.
Perfect. It's amazing how it works. Okay, so no, still not. Okay. I'm going to try something different. Let's try this. Nope. There we go. Okay, we'll do it manually. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you a little bit, Mayor, a little bit about Rotary International, our history. I'm going to talk about some of our key initiatives. Then I'll get a little more specific, talk about the Rotary Club of Gig Harbor, and show some images of some of the things that we've built in Gig Harbor and how to get involved. And I will do a video. We know it plays, which is exciting. And we'll leave some time at the end for Q&A. I have this picture up because one of the things I love most about Rotary is we have the opportunity to respond in moments of crisis, whether it's national or international or local. Unmute. Let me unmute myself. Am I good now? I apologize to everyone on Zoom who missed everything that I just said. So we take action, whether it's locally. This picture here is let me see if I can get all of my pieces to work. There we go. Nope, doesn't show up on a screen, so never mind. That service above self photo is at the Watchet Interchange, and I'm going to show you that in a moment. This is Jan Martin. I don't know how many of you know Jan Martin from our local community, but she's here administering polio vaccines, and that's something that's very important to Rotary. And then this picture down here is of a literacy project. So I'm going to share a little bit more about all of these with you. But since 1978, our goal has been to stamp out polio worldwide, and we are so close. Only a handful of cases are occurring. I don't know how many of you know about polio, but polio is only existing right now really on the border between Afghanistan and Pakistan, and that area is very difficult to get to administer polio vaccines. And so polio has been working, or Rotary has been working on this since 1978, and they had this big, hairy, audacious goal of stamping out polio. And so this has been going on for since 1978. Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation got involved, and today we say we are this close. And so that is the goal. And so for particularly Rotarians who have been working on this for the better part of their life, it's one of the things they hope to see in their lifetime. So our mission is really about providing service to others. Our motto is service above self. And so we're about advancing world understanding and goodwill and peace. And so whether it's the Willachet interchange that I talked about, or building a latrine to keep water, to promote water quality in third world countries, we are a group of business and professional leaders who come together to do just that work. Let me go back and show you. This is what Rotary looks like worldwide. So we're an international organization. Am I standing right in your way? Yeah, all right then. Let's see. Okay. So as you can see, we're truly an international organization, and growing all the time. We started in Chicago in 1905. And Paul Harris was our founder. He's pictured here. And his vision was that people of different businesses would come together, and they would build networks, and they would be of service to the community. And so this is how we got started. And I would say those of us who are in Rotary will say that this is still the same work that persists. Lifelong friendships with people who also care deeply about our community. And so when we think about people joining Rotary, one of the things that we hold ourselves to is the standard. So I'm going to invite the Rotarians in the room to recite the four-way test of the things we think, say, or do. Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? Is it fun? Right. So these are the standards we hold ourselves to. And I'll say sometimes they're easier than others, but oftentimes when we have a conflict within the club, we come back to this four-way test, and we really try to hold ourselves to these standards. And the is it fun part is something that does feel very critical to our club. So we believe that we have this responsibility to take action, and it's a shared responsibility. And so we have 46,000 clubs worldwide. And, here's what we're working to do. Not small things: promote peace, fight disease, empower women and children, support education, grow local economies, and protect the environment. Very small and manageable, I think. But when all these people come together, it's pretty incredible what people can do. So when we talk about promoting peace, you might be familiar with Rotary's exchange program. Have any of you done the Rotary Youth Exchange program, been in exchange, or had children who've done the exchange? Dan, you know all about Rotary's Youth Exchange. Yep. So new members come into our community every year, and members from our community go out into the world and create fellowship and understanding between cultures. And we also train adults and young leaders to prevent and mediate conflict, and to help refugees who have fled dangerous areas. We fight disease. So I already talked about polio. We do a lot worldwide with malaria, with HIV and AIDS. And then we really work on improving and expanding access to low cost and free healthcare. One of the things that's best about Rotary is local clubs will invest with clubs in other countries to do the work. So it's not like we're just shipping dollars off and hoping that they go to a good cause. We're actually working with Rotarians who are working in communities in third world countries or developing countries to actually do that work. And so when when people get vaccinated against polio, it is a worldwide international effort, and Rotary is involved in all around the world. Rotarians are involved going out and administering polio vaccines for in communities where they don't have access to, like your child's well visit at 3 months old. So we also fund cleft palate surgeries in the Philippines. I'm going to share a couple of slides with you in a moment that share a little bit more about that. Clean water, sanitation, and hygiene is critical. We know it's life-changing. So Rotarians are involved in clean water projects across the world and make a long time commitment to this. And it's something we take for granted, but we know the devastating health impacts it has across the world. Saving mothers and children. So nearly 6 million children under the age of 5 each year die because of malnutrition, poor health care, and inadequate sanitation. So we try to expand access, particularly to maternal health and child health. One of the things I heard yesterday was that 33% of men in Guatemala actually have come to the US to work, leaving many women and children living in poverty. And so when we focus on particular regions, our club has a big focus on Guatemala because we have relationships there, but also just because there's a huge need. There's a lot of poverty and a huge opportunity for some investment to go really a long way in changing people's lives. So supporting education is another part of what we do. You can see here by the slides that 775 million people are illiterate, and our work is focused both locally and nationally and internationally. So the Midday and the Morning Club help provide scholarships to students to access post-secondary training. Our club does about $50,000 a year in post-secondary scholarships. And then our club starts the Dolly Parton Imagination Library. So for those of you who don't know about Dolly Parton, her dad was illiterate. And so her goal was to really help children become literate so that they wouldn't experience the same lack of opportunities that her dad had. And so it was something he was always ashamed of, and she didn't want anyone else to feel that shame. And so she created the Dolly Parton Imagination Library. The idea, and Dan, you can tell us all about it, I know, but when children have access to early literature from birth to 5, they develop a whole world of vocabulary. So you basically learn to read by the time you're in 3rd grade. If you don't learn to read by 3rd grade, you never really catch up. So the idea is, how do we get literacy and reading in the hands of children so that by the time they come to school and they're reading at grade level by 3rd grade? So if you have anyone that you know or connections to people and organizations who should know about Dolly Parton Imagination Library, the Rotary Club, along with Altrusa in our community, is committed to making sure every child who signs up has a supply of books coming to them 1 a month from birth to 5. We also focus on the environment. So you can see our impact across the community, from the pollinator garden that we planted at the Willachet Interchange to the viewing platform at Fish Creek to cleanup projects that take place annually. We as Rotarians are committed to the environment, and although I would say there's much more to be done. And then we are committed, like mothers and children. Growing local economies, particularly internationally, requires no additional explanation, but it is something that I think has a huge impact. So a little bit more about our local club. We meet every Friday morning. We meet from 7 to 8:30 at the Gig Harbor Yacht Club. We have been around almost 50 years. So we get to celebrate our 50th anniversary this next year, which will be really fun. I'm looking forward to that. We are both a service and a membership organization. So we're out in the community doing service, but really we're about having fun together. And we have 5 kind of primary areas of focus locally. So we focus on our club, building friendship, goodwill, relationships, and having a great time. But we also focus on youth, vocation, international service, and community service. And so I have oh boy, I was going through slides. I was going through the photo library, and I was just trying to distill down, what does Rotary do in something that feels like kind of manageable? And so it was difficult. And so I'm going to abbreviate it. And if your favorite projects didn't make the slide, I just want to apologize in advance. So youth service, we have Interact clubs that are at the local high schools. They're ways for students to get involved and engaged in the community under the umbrella of Rotary. Hey, Steve O'Donnell. We have scholarships. I mentioned the $50,000 a year that we award annually. This dancing classrooms happens in Peninsula schools. And so you look at it and you think, why do kids need to learn how to dance? That's not really what dancing classrooms are about. Dancing classrooms are about learning how to interact, show kindness, and empathy. It's really difficult to be a bully to another student once you've touched them, danced with them, recognized their humanness. And so that's actually what's at the heart of dancing classrooms. So in addition to teaching kids great ballroom skills so that these young men will be like sought after partners the rest of their life, this is kind of the true benefit of dancing classrooms. And it's something I think now, who knows from our Rotary Club how many schools it's at? Elementary schools. It expands every year. Yeah. Are we up to 6, Steve? Yep. There's our own Steve O'Donnell on Build a Bike. So we build bikes every year and we give them away to various youth serving organizations. But then we also support just through grants, the Red Barn, communities and schools. I talked about Dolly Parton Imagination Library. Our youth service budget is long. Vocational service, we have a couple of programs that I think are really stellar. We support a re-entry program at Purdy Women's Prison. And so the opportunity there is to help people re-engage with the community and learn current job training skills it's so that they feel confident to go out and find a job. Howard Mackert, one of our members, started an organization called Cars for Change. And this is a program where people in the community donate cars to Howard and to this program. And then he turns around and he and his team get them fixed up and they give them to women when they're leaving prison. So if you think about all the cards that are already stacked against you when you have a record, the idea then that you need to find a job and support yourself, but you don't have transportation, it's a barrier. So if you know of anyone who has a car that needs some work, but would make a great home to aid women who are leaving, be sure and let us know. We'd happily take that donation. The NJROTC program at through Peninsula Schools is something that the club funds, and we have a great relationship with these group of young men and women led by Commander Hood, and so they are doing fabulous work, volunteering out in the community, and we are happy to support them. I don't want to skip over this one because one of the things that we do through vocational services is the Star Awards. Does anybody know, been to the Star Awards program? Yep. Anyone here a Star Award recipient? Okay. So on your bucket list, unless you're a Rotarian. So this is where we recognize people in the community who have exemplified service above self. So you can't be a Rotarian and win this award, but many people, you can see some of the folks, Pat Lance, Bob Fulbreck, Carolyn Wiley, Melissa Oman, Caitlin Pfeiffer, and Dr. Sarah Thompson are just 6 of the last recipients in the last 2 years. And so it's just an opportunity to really celebrate. If you know somebody who should be nominated, just talk to Rotarian. We'd love to be able to recognize them. International service, I have a real heart for this, I think, because I just see the opportunity for life-changing work that we can do. One of the things that we're doing, a project that we're involved in right now, is sending rugged wheelchairs to Guatemala. So right now we have a shipment of 243 wheelchairs. These are pictures. So there was a picture and a story for each of these wheelchairs before this project was funded. And so these are just some of the folks that you can see who need assistance getting around. You can imagine if you're living in rugged terrain, mountainous terrain, what it's like. These are cleft palate surgeries that we do in the Philippines. The Rachel Project is a communication hub where students can learn in their language across a variety of learning levels. And so especially in rural schools where there are very few teachers, Rachel has been transformative. We actually supply all the laptops and the hub for this learning. And then we have clean water projects that at this point have reached 15,000 people in Peru and Guatemala. And those are continuing on. And then I don't know why that slide's there, but community service is our last one. And I am just going to skim through this because one of the things that I have come to recognize is we have a culture of building things in our club. And so we have people who are good with their hands and who are not afraid to pick up a shovel and tools and make incredible things happen on behalf of our community. And so you might recognize Peter Stanley here. And so even though we've had a fire in the Willotchit interchange, there is a pollinator project and kind of a beautiful garden that will be taking shape over the next 5 years as you watch the plants grow. Our club built the flagpole and also the pavilion at Scansey Park. So when you listen to folks play in the concert series, that was a Rotary project. You can see here some great additions at Samel Park, including the bus shelter. That's actually going in this year to shelter students who are out there waiting. We were involved in the Rotary Park, the Wilkinson Garden Fence and Greenhouse, Connie's clock. So you might know Connie's clock wasn't working for a while, but it's working again. The club just spent, I think, $5,000 repairing it. And so it's got a couple more features, should play things like Mac the Knife and some things. Connie was a beloved Rotarian. And so this is in the harbor to honor him. We have worked on the Key Peninsula, the Mustard Seed office, doing some modification, and recently just paid for their accessible ramp so that folks could get downstairs and access the rest of their buildings. There's a picture of the Chamber of Commerce. I had no idea that the Rotary Club had worked on the Chamber of Commerce, but great to see. Our own Jill Guernsey on a ladder there painting. Works on food backpacks for kids, building their storage. I don't know if any of you have been to Shaw Park, great place to take grandkids, musical instruments there that kids can play or adults. So those are Rotarian built. And then who's been to the Rotary Aviation Zone out at the airport? Yeah, a couple of people, Rotarians. This is another great place to take kids and grandkids. There's a whole signage talking about aviation. I think people would enjoy it. And it's fascinating. Donkey Creek viewing. We were behind moving the Midway Schoolhouse for the Harbor History Museum, so some great pictures there. We helped build the pavilion at the Gateway Park. This, I don't know how many of you know, but this is the thrift store that burned down. And in memory or in honor of one of our Rotarians' wives, Marie Magnuson, a bunch of Rotarians got together and rebuilt it. And that funds the Mary Bridge Children's Hospital. And so that's just some. When you look around the community and you see structures built, a lot of those came out of talents and efforts of the Gig Harbor Rotary Club and funded by our Taste of Gig Harbor. So this is an invitation to last year's Taste of Gig Harbor. This is where business community members come together and provide. So we have, I think, 8 or 9 restaurants. We have it at the Antique Airplane Hangar Museum every year. And it is a great time. So even if you aren't a Rotarian, we welcome the entire community to join us. It's our biggest fundraiser of the year. And it essentially makes all the things that you saw possible. So there is an opportunity to get involved. And then I would just say this quote from Margaret Mead is one of my favorites. It's people who change the world. Small groups of committed, thoughtful people. I think I'm proud to be a Rotarian because I think we are one of those groups that's changing the world locally and internationally. And so I just want to say, come join us. It's a great group to be a part of. And with that, before we break out, I would like to just close by showing you a video. Let me just see if I can get there. Stop sharing for a minute. Okay. I think how many of you know Josh Sherwin? Yeah. So this tells the story. Josh is the most amazing storyteller, and he does a great job of telling this much better than I could. So let me just. I will do that. Oh,
Love is but a song we sing, feels the way we die.
why did I have to mess with it? Yeah, just give me a minute. I just had to mess with a good thing. I don't know why. Give me 1 minute. Okay, I'll need one of you guys because
Go back to Zoom.
once you mess things up, it's hard to perform in front of a group.
Yeah.
Okay,
It's okay. So these all your screens.
Yeah.
And this is your video.
that's the video, but what's important is it's not up there. So that's the that's the part.
Should be.
You go back.
You are sharing your screen.
I'm sharing my screen, but they aren't seeing this.
Yes. Shucks.
It was so beautiful while it was
It
lasting.
was beautiful. Yeah, but this me. We always have this still on old video. Click back to.
Nope. Not yet. Okay, hang on, just
Still not in.
it's okay.
Shucks. It's not a pleasure presentation.
It's okay.
It's not sharing. It should be sharing. You tried to.
Hi, Cindy Reed.
You can try sharing a different screen. Go back to Zoom. And then that guy can share. And all these screens come up. So that's your presentation. That's your video. Sure.
Well, let's go to
You pulled it up from your Google account, correct?
yeah, I did. Hang on just a minute. This should be on the screen.
Yeah, sure. We have all the boxes checked.
Okay. Let's try this one more time. I'm gonna see if I can get up there. Then once we get it, I'm not gonna touch anything. Just a minute. Do you know you're not seeing it yet?
It says one here and it says two. So maybe we're sharing a different screen possibly. The only option I can think of is to go back to your family picture and wait, I'll go to one. Yeah, okay.
I know, it's kind of interesting. So the Zoom folks can see it. It's just the folks here
I
can't
can see it on the computer.
Yeah, they can't see it. So yeah. So that's the problem is that yeah, it's okay. I have one more strategy. So let's do this. I'm gonna do some settings. I'm just gonna go to the display. Okay. Now let's try this.
Oh, we're in.
We're back.
Good job.
Okay. Final time. Touch anything.
Though the bird is on the wing, and you may not know why. Come on, people now, smile on your brother, everybody get together. Try to love one another right now. Right now, right now.
The Rotary Club has done an excellent job of supporting education and literacy for school-age children. Now we are proud and excited to join Dolly Parton's Imagination Library. In partnership with Rotary, the Imagination Library mails high-quality, age-appropriate books in the child's name free to families monthly.
Teach your children well.
The literacy program is proven to achieve equitable access to books, increase school readiness, and foster a love for reading, starting from birth to age 5, as well as encourage family engagement. Since August of 2022, Rotary Club has served more than 700 of the over 4,000 children living in our area. As a retired teacher, I know the importance of teaching children to love reading. Please help us get a book in every child's hands that live in our area.
And know they love you.
Since 2015, the Rotary Club of Gig Harbor has been mowing and trimming a 3-acre site at the Willachet Interchange, creating a more attractive entrance to our beautiful city of Gig Harbor. In 2022, the club decided to take this beautification project one step further and create a native landscape which would not just be beautiful to look at, but also provide a natural sanctuary for birds and pollinators. A plan was made in collaboration with the Department of Transportation to plant native trees and shrubs that would provide pollen and nectar to beneficial insects and provide birds with seeds, fruit, and nesting sites. In January 2023, 30 members of the Rotary Club with their families planted the trees and shrubs on the site. The Rotary Club will continue to maintain the site and hopes to add more shrubs in the coming years. It is our hope that the Willachet Interchange will become a source of beauty and joy for the Gig Harbor community.
Retired Navy Lieutenant Commander Darrell Hood leads the Navy Junior ROTC program at the Peninsula High School and the Gig Harbor High School. 93, both male and female cadets, are in this unit. This program is open to everyone. It's not a feeder program for the military. Its foundation is military because of the discipline associated with the military. Commander Hood wants his cadets to be good leaders. He wants them to support each other and to work as a team. He expects them to show up on time and get work done. When these cadets commence a career, they know how to work hard and how to work as a team. Rotary has provided substantial funding to purchase uniforms for cadets who could not be fitted with the used uniforms he procured. Rotary also funded the purchase of polo uniform shirts, enabling each cadet to wear them proudly anywhere he or she wishes. The Navy cadets are heavily involved in community service. They provided substantial assistance at the Rotary Auction, the Veterans Luncheon, the Downtown Alliance Sip and Stroll, and many other community events. Rotary's support of this program has made a big difference in what Commander Hood has been able to accomplish with the cadets. This program has helped these high school cadets transform themselves into impressive, mature, and responsible citizens. Rotary's sponsorship of this program has changed lives while supporting our community.
I've looked at clouds from both sides now, from up and down, and still somehow.
Over the last 10 years, 16,000 villagers in the western highlands of Guatemala have achieved access to a necessity of life, clean water. During the last 5 years, over 10,000 Guatemalan children have gained access to computer-based education that has transformed their ability to learn. These longer-term and other projects initiated by the club have significantly changed the future of life for people and bring hope of even a brighter future. With Rotary's vision, we see a world where people unite and take action to create lasting change across the globe, in our communities, and within ourselves. Thanks to your ongoing support and the power of Rotary Global Grants, we leverage each dollar you have generously donated 3 to 5 times to create this level of impact on the lives of others. You are truly making a difference in the world.
Well, there you go. So that is Rotary in a better story than I could tell. But yes, questions.
Okay, well, let's thank Robin for a very informative presentation. And given how many Rotarians we have here, I'm not sure how many questions we'll have, but this is your opportunity. So, who'd like to be first?
How did the fire at Wallachit interchange impact the garden?
So it's a great question. Let me take this off the mic. So thankfully, the plants were more resilient than we had realized. And so when they went back and checked, quite a few of them are showing new growth, which is great. Probably about 25% will need to be replanted. It was somebody's boat trailer wheel that came off. When I first saw it, I thought maybe it was like somebody had thrown a cigarette out the window, and I felt particularly indignant, but I felt a little better when I heard that it was a boat tire, a boat coming off of a wheel. And so, or I mean, a wheel coming off of a boat trailer. So it will be replanted. And we actually have, I think Pierce County Environmental Services is maybe going to donate some plants to get that replanted. Yeah. We have watering parties. Feel free to join us. Hi, Steve.
Looking at the Star Awards nominations from the community, non-Rotarians, and just in watching the short video there, I was thinking of Josh, and I didn't know when you read the list of recipients. Has Josh Sherman been a recipient?
He hasn't. No. One of the key things to the Star Awards, though, is that you cannot be paid for any services that you're being recognized for. So even if you're an outstanding mayor or you're something else, yep. So we're looking for people who are truly giving with nothing in return. Yep.
Oh, wait a minute.
There you go.
I do know that out of 18 people, 9 are Rotarians. So that means there's 9 of you that I can sponsor to our club.
Steve is really good at sponsoring. I do just want to follow up to say this is not meant to be a pitch for Rotary, but it is meant to say it's a wonderful community organization. We welcome people from the community to participate. We also are looking to partner more with Rotary, with Kiwanis, Lions. Like, how can we kind of link arms across the community and work on some big projects together? Hey, Larry.
Community reach. So, selfish question: when we are outside of Gig Harbor, how do we participate in other Rotary meetings, or how do other Rotarians know about our meetings and come to our meetings?
Yeah, so there's an international Rotary website, and you can actually put in your zip code of where you'll be visiting, and it will show you all the Rotary clubs that are happening in your area at that time. Yeah, it is awfully fun. Yeah.
I've been to the Rotary in San Francisco, and I've also been to the Rotary in Sonata. And the morning that I was in Ensenada, I'm trying to talk to him, but I can talk to him.
Talk to everybody.
But I was in Ensenada at 9 o'clock in the morning, and you know what they were doing? They were just gathering all their people into groups, and they were going to a big, huge carnival ship that just came into Ensenada, and they were going there, in setting up groups to collect money for their organization.
And John, tell them how much our breakfast is. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Which one?
$10,
That's in San Francisco.
and it was $60.
We are a good bang for the buck. I will say that. Yeah. Thanks to Barbecue to You, our good friend Gary Parker, Barbecue to You, we have great breakfasts.
Yeah, Robin, one of the incredible statistics that's out there, why a lot of people give the Rotary is the percentage of like dollar to give the Rotary. So it's like, what is it, 90 or 92 cents extra to the service delivery, as opposed to a lot of other nonprofits that we all know about, but sometimes 30, 40, 50, 60% is taken off for administration. So
Right.
do you know that statistic?
It's 95%. Yeah. And it's a 5-star, charity navigator rated nonprofit, both locally, and we have a Rotary Foundation locally also. That is also highly rated in terms of that statistic. Yeah.
Just wanted to say that the Rotary take the Gig Harbor auction is a blast and really great time. And you don't have to be a Rotarian to come.
Right.
I don't know the 2024 date, but it's probably like March or April.
It's in March this year. Yeah. I think April. I think it's April 6th.
April. So come.
Well, it's an honor to be here. I will say that Joe jumped the gun a little. I have not officially joined Rotary, but I actually am planning to join. Chamber. I have joined Rotary. I have not officially joined the chamber, but I am going to. I was very involved in the chamber in Issaquah, and I just hadn't made time for it yet. But I am going to now, and it's great to be with y'all. Thanks for giving me the opportunity to talk about Rotary.
Well, thanks. Well, thanks again, Robin. And we have time to find out a little bit about what's going on in the community. How about if we start with Dan?
Good morning. I don't know if I'm supposed to be there or where. Does it make any difference? I'm good. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Robin, and all the Rotarians of the school district. I was jotting things down on my hand, so I listed so many I can't talk about them. A couple of my favorites, however, dancing classrooms. We brought that in. I think, Chuck, you were superintendent when we first brought dancing classrooms in. I think we started at Vaughn and Purdy, and it spread to at least 6. I thought we were shooting for all 10 of our elementaries, but just a fantastic program. The NJROTC, this said 92. I think I saw yesterday we're at 105 students in NJROTC right now. So that's growing as well. And we just really appreciate all of the efforts of Rotary. And I don't want to miss out on the literacy piece also, because our goal is 100% of our kids by the time they get to 3rd grade being able to read on grade level. So thank you very much. We were here last week, and I think we forgot to even mention and thank the Chamber for sponsoring part of our welcome back ceremony that we had here at Roy Anderson Field and Track event. So thank you much, Miriam, for supporting that. School this week. We started school on Tuesday. We started very successfully. I think one of the highlights is I spent my first morning out at Key Peninsula Middle School, and we will that modernized school. It looks beautiful on the outside and on the inside, and the kids were just loving coming in the door there, seeing a bright, shiny new school, kind of the ship on the outside, but all new on the inside and on the outside, just not a new footprint. So that was really a highlight. Our capital projects folks did a great job. It did come right down to the wire. Several of us were out there on Monday on Labor Day, kind of picking up the last few pieces and making sure we were ready to open. So that was one of the big highlights. So thank you.
Thanks, Dan. Mayor Markley, would you like to say a few words?
Sorry, I had to run out and try to catch a phone call, but there's no reception in this building, apparently. So I will return that call later. Thank you, Robin. Thank you, Rotary, for everything that you do. You make our city so beautiful, and I'm looking forward to hearing about new project ideas that you guys have. So thank you so much. I was at the back to school event. That was my first time. I had no idea how much exercise I was going to get that day. That was so fun. Running up and down the field, being a judge of red light, green light, and all kinds of fun games that the teachers and the staff were participating in. And oh my gosh, it was fun. Um, so as always, lots going on at the city, but I will make it brief. So we are working on another crime prevention summit for our businesses. I'm gonna be calling you soon. This time it's gonna be in the evening so that business owners that weren't able to make it to our morning one because they're in their shop running their business, hopefully can come in an evening. I think that things are getting a little bit better, but we want them to stay better. So we're gonna be doing another one of those in council chambers. So stay tuned for that. Um, 5 o'clock tonight, we have a special council meeting. It's going to be in the community rooms, not in chambers. So if you want to come, it'll be in A and B rooms. We're going to be doing an ordinance that's going to clean up some inconsistencies in our code, talk about some options for appointments to the Lodging Tax Advisory Committee. We are going to be talking about water utility rate tiers. We have not done any rate updates or increases since before COVID. So we're going to be chatting about that tonight. So if you're interested in that, you can watch online. We have a new agenda center. It's taking a little bit of time to get used to, but it's going to ultimately be more efficient for both running in the meetings and then also people visiting online. So just be patient. If you have questions or you're having trouble accessing agendas, give our city clerk a call and he'll be happy to walk you through that. Monday night's meeting, suicide prevention is a really, really important and personal topic to me, but also it's important to our entire community. I will be doing a proclamation for Suicide Prevention Month, which is September, and we will have Ann Nesbitt there and other members of the Gig Harbor Key Peninsula Suicide Prevention Coalition to receive the proclamation and have some materials available for people. We are also having a mural. It's an art installation that's going to go behind the bench down at Scansey Park that's closest to the sidewalk, kind of nearest the pavilion. And there will be some information about suicide awareness, how to talk to somebody, and really just hoping that people will go and take advantage of taking some photos, posting them on Instagram, and just raising awareness. It's beautiful. And we're hoping that it will just be something that will be there for the month of September for people to really gain some awareness about this important topic. We're also going to be promoting one of our officers, Eddie Dominguez, to sergeant, police sergeant. So that's going to be very exciting coming from our chief. And then the only business item and the hottest topic since June will be the flag policy that the council's considering. We're expecting upwards of possibly 200 constituents coming to speak on this policy. So if you want to come, get there early, carpool, parking might be an issue. So all of it is on our website and more. We're also getting a new website. So soon you will see the city will have a contemporary facelift. I'm very excited to come into the 2020s. This is going to be so great. So as always, I'm happy to come and speak at any groups, give a state of the city update. My schedule is a lot more free now that City Hall is working like clockwork. Speaking of the clock, I will be reaching out to whoever called me about the clock to talk about the tunes that they're playing. I'm happy, excited that's working again. So thanks so much.
Thank you, Mayor. And Miriam, I know you have a few words to say about the chamber.
I do. Hey, Robin, thank you so much for presenting today. Looking forward to partnering with you on a number of things. The Waterfront Alliance and I, we're visiting about a couple of things that we've got up our sleeve for the holidays. So we'll be talking. Anyway, at the chamber, I'm dressed, Robin's bringing in fall. I'm still doing the aloha because today at the luncheon, we're doing kind of an aloha theme. It's anyway, so that's why we've got all the seasons covered here. One of the things that I want to talk about is the Government Relations Committee. That committee met last night, and I know a number of people in this room are very interested, and online if you're watching it later, very interested in government relations. we're looking for some additional committee members that are interested in topics relevant to businesses in our community. One of the biggest ones that seems to be impacting a number of our businesses, yes, I see you pointing at Larry. Um, one of the biggest ones is the new gas rate that went into effect. And we're hearing from a number of businesses that their staff that are, making some of the minimum wage, lower paying positions are having difficulty getting to work because of the increase in the gas prices. So that's that's an example of one of the things that we're going to try to work on with the legislature this next year to see what can be done for businesses. Because when a business that we specifically spoke with, they increased their employees' pay, well, that was gobbled up with the price of gas. So it was kind of a net zero. At least it wasn't a negative for the employees, but it impacts them. And then it's the trickle down effect for all supply chain related issues, right? So if there are some topics that are near and dear to your heart that are business related that we can focus in on, this committee and the chamber is a nonpartisan organization. So you have to put your R or your D hat to the side, and we would just focus on the issues that are impacting businesses. So if you're willing to do that, get a hold of me. I'll get you connected with the committee. It's chaired by Dave Montour from Kettlefish. And if you know him, he looks at a lot of these issues himself. So that's the invitation for that. And Katie, am I missing anything? I can't think. Oh, our Matt Mazzaros got married over the weekend. So they did an elopement ceremony. So it was darling. So it was super fun. And thank you to Gig Harbor Court for hosting us here. I see you, Linda Jo. So it's just really beautiful setup that you have. Thank you for hosting. We appreciate you.
I do have bags for every round.
Oh.
If you would like them. Nobody wants to have to take a COVID test, but sometimes COVID tests are like $25 to $30 in the shop. And so Gig Harbor Court is going to be giving away 2 boxes, which is 4 tests plus water bottle, vitamin C, a crossword puzzle to anybody in town, local businesses that need them for their staff. So I have these if you need them.
Thank you. All right, that's really nice. So for those who missed it, Gig Harbor Court is giving away some COVID tests. They've got little goodie bags that they have. So if you are in need, come to Gig Harbor Court, right behind the 4700 Point Fosdick building. And this is what the bags look like. Katie, okay, we'll just throw them over here. We'll come chase no, we won't. All right, we're gonna do a dance. That was you're welcome for the entertainment this morning. All right. Anyone else? Next week we have
I was hoping in there.
yeah, I remember who it is. Katie Deaver. Kempa Ali Busich will be here again speaking. She's going to be talking about the upcoming projects that they have along with the lid lifts that they are going to be putting on the ballot in the fall. So we look forward to seeing you. And there is a film festival coming up. Don't forget to get your tickets at the Galaxy Theater. It is September 21st through 24th. And so Tina has the programs for it, and we'll have some at the chamber office as well. So
Don't forget Rotary can order for him. If you want to see Dolly is there.
and Rotary.
So if you want to see
Friday morning. All right. Thank you. All right. Thanks, guys. Thanks again.